Shantanu, if I could come to you, based on the wording of the statement that the RBI has put out today, would you even doubt the likelihood of a rate cut come April?
It's going to happen tomorrow. If tomorrow, for example, government takes a bold step, increases taxes for revenue, passes on fuel price hike, reduces fertilizer subsidy, etc., I think it's positive, and you could perhaps, try and raise your hopes of expectation. But I'm not entirely convinced that the time is right yet, because I think there is still a lot of suppressed inflation yet to be passed on into the economy. Oil is a key measure. And oil at about $120, if you have to pass on 5 rupees increase in petrol, it is inflationary. So I think while perhaps from an economic growth perspective, the cycle should turn in terms of interest rates, but the macroeconomic indicators are not necessarily, supporting us. So I think tomorrow is an important time frame. And if tomorrow the fiscal thing does not happen to be tight or happens to be a little loose, then instead of April, you could even see it going to June.
There is a view that by the end of the first fortnight of April, you will possibly see the deficit position in the banking system drop to -1 NDTL. Do you see that as happening, or do you believe that we will be still a little higher than that?
It's difficult to guess. If you look at what's happened in the markets, the deficit touched almost 2 lakh crores. And like I said earlier, the cut in the CRR will probably match the outflows on the advance tax that is expected to go out next week. So roughly if about 50,000 crores came into the system, about 50,000 crores is expected to go out of the system. So that will take you back to closer to 1.8 lakh or 1.9 lakh crore deficit. Now, assuming some of this money, government expenditure happens in the last month, just before the year end, so some liquidity will get infused, some of this money will come back into the system, we can expect by about mid-April it to ease. But I'm not so sure where the easing will happen. Do we expect all of this 1.8 lakh crores to completely disappear in terms of deficit? I think it's a little bit confusing in terms of the picture. So I think, yes, by mid-April is when I expect easing to start happening. But how much and what exactly happens, we've got to wait and see. Right now, I expect it to be tighter as advance tax outflows goes out and we go back to the deficit window of about 1.8 lakh crores or so.
A word from you with respect to the guidance that has been given out by the RBI this time around, saying that the RBI has indicated that no further tightening is required, that future actions will be towards lowering the rates. Would you, in some sense, agree that this is the right way to approach the situation?
I think that, you've really got to, like I said, I keep repeating myself, wait and see what happens tomorrow. I think it is correct to say that we have reached the peak of the cycle, like we've been saying. But it's not that the risks to inflation have completely disappeared. I think risks to growth are evident, and we can see them in the system, despite whatever IIP numbers came day before yesterday. And investment cycle has slowed down completely, which to me is a cause for worry, not just now, but perhaps the next 2 years, that it will impact the economic growth of the next 2 years. But I think it is probably correct to say that we've reached the peak of the cycle. When the slide will start in terms of reversal of the cycle, in terms of lowering of rates, one does not know. Even assuming one gets 25 basis points reduction sometime in April or June, it is not yet sufficient. So I think the trend and the direction is clear, but I think there are a lot of challenges and lack of investment, a lot of, there's, hidden inflation. I think still are risks, so I think it's a wait and watch.